Well, hello everyone and welcome. And thanks so much for joining us today for our first presentation of the four-part series that will focus on email success campaign strategies for travel professionals. I'm Joanie Ogg, and Tom Ogg is going to be joining us at the end of the presentation to take some questions. So just a few things before we get started. Please remember that you are all muted, but we welcome your questions. And you can type in your questions at any time in the question area on the right-hand panel of your screen. Now, this webinar is about creating an email campaign strategy for success. One of the biggest mistakes travel professionals consistently seem to make is not tailoring their digital marketing efforts to be consistent with their overall business objectives. Digital marketing channels can be defined as a website or websites, social media platforms, digital publications such as white papers and ebooks, and email campaigns. And a travel professional's digital footprint should consistently deliver a strong and unique value proposition focused on sustaining the primary goals of the campaign. Over time, travelprofessionalnews.com is going to explore all the digital marketing channels. But the first we're going to explore is how to create, implement, and carry out a successful email marketing campaign. But it's imperative that one understand that accomplishing an effective email marketing campaign is simply a single part of a much greater picture. The email marketing campaign needs to be consistent with all aspects of one's digital marketing endeavors. That said, planning an effective campaign is pretty much a straightforward process that needs to be intelligent and well implemented. So here are the elements and the considerations that make up a successful email campaign. Your email lists may well be the most important asset that you have in your business, and it should be treated like that. You should absolutely invest in a professional email marketing company, perhaps like ConstantContact.com or MailChimp.com, GetResponse.com, ConvertKit.com, and there are others. But it's imperative that you comply with all of the CAN-SPAM Act that regulates how email marketing must legally be done. Using a commercially viable email marketing company sends a really clear signal to your clients that you're competent and that their privacy is protected. Avoid sending undisclosed recipient emails as they shout unprofessionalism and potential scams. And you should put a great deal of thought regarding your campaign's value proposition. The first thing you have to ask yourself is, why would anyone open my email? And I know that sounds obvious, but your answer is something like, I want to buy my cruise, or I want to get their email address, or I want them to come to my website. You need to think again on your email strategy. The reason people send business emails is to get the reader to take some sort of action, either directly or indirectly. So hoping that the reader will choose yours is kind of a long shot, to say the least. Your campaign should focus on the reader and their wants and needs, not yours. As you will hear over and over in this series of webinars on digital marketing, your email campaign should answer your reader's question, what's in it for me? Readers will respond favorably to offers of real value and reject anything else. One of the most important things to first consider is, who exactly is your target audience? If you're selling European river cruises, you probably want to target the most likely market segment that buys them. Sending emails to your general email list is probably a waste of your time. So think about who is the most likely candidate for what you're marketing and focus on them only. Targeted and focused emails are the most likely to get opened and acted upon. However, sending them to the wrong audience is likely to result in more unsubscribes than clicks. So what is the specific objective of your email campaign? And once you're sending to the audience, what is the result you're looking for? Here are some examples for you. You want them to book a cruise, a tour, or other travel event. You want them to visit your website. You want them to subscribe to your newsletter. Maybe you want to capture their name and their email address. Maybe you're trying to build a relationship with them. Maybe you want them to take a survey. These are all just some of the actions that you may want or may wish your email campaign to accomplish. The critical issue is to have a very specific and measurable result that you are striving to achieve with your campaign. So answer the what's in it for me question. In order to entice your email readers to take the next step, you should offer them a motivating and valuable reason to do so. Now, this can be in the form of a white paper or an ebook that would be of great value maybe to the readers. Breaking travel news, special discounts, local pricing incentives, and other such topics may also motivate the readers to take the next step. Now that you have your email campaign strategy well evolved, you can start designing your initial email to engage potential readers. Now, of course, special attention needs to be paid to its from email address, subject line, content, landing page, and call to action, which we will explore in great detail in future webinars. Following is just some information on each aspect of building this. Your from email address is extremely important. If you're not using a branded email address, or better yet, a promotion-specific email address for your email campaign, don't even think about moving forward with it. Your branded email address should let your recipient know exactly who is sending the email. And failure to do this will result in a very low open rate. Now, who would you rather engage with? BeerBuddy66 at hotmail.com or Tom Ogg at rivercruiseexpert.com. All kidding aside, if you were buying a river cruise, which would you choose? First impressions are lasting impressions, and a branded email address is essential for a wonderful first and a lasting impression. And just as important as your from email address is the subject line of your email. Having a robust and engaging subject line is critical to your email open rate. Email recipients delete as much as 65% of messages based on the subject line. So before we try to create the perfect subject line, we need a fairly basic understanding of the reality of digital marketing in 2019. I like to call it the Facebook effect. Now, while a few years ago, one might open an email and read it all the way through if they were interested. Today, because of the speed that we absorb information, no longer do digital marketers have the luxury of an expansive palette on which to paint their message. Your subject line needs to be crystal clear and concise and motivate the reader to want to open your email. So important is the topic of creating subject lines that travelprofessionalnews.com is also going to do a webinar on just how to do that. Your overall email campaign should have a consistent look and feel, and this would include graphics and fonts, colors, layout, and design. And here's some tips to consider when designing your email. Consider having your email template professionally designed. It's perhaps worth the investment. Use a one-column responsive template to give smartphone users the optimum display if you're not going to target devices in your campaign. Limit the width of your email to 600 pixels to make sure it will be viewed properly on all devices. And use images sparingly, only if they convey more information than words would. Make sure that the images are optimized to load fast and that they're responsive to the screen size. Only use fonts from a single font family. Rather than different fonts, use different weights from the same font family to sustain your design. And avoid pastels, beiges, shades of red, and low contrasting colors in your email. Only use color combination with a high degree of contrast. And write your copy focused solely on the result that you're after. Use as few words as possible to define what your value proposition is and no more. The sole purpose of your landing page is to convert an email click into a lead. Once you've executed your initial email and engaged a potential client to click, You should deliver them to a single-purpose landing page. Now, the landing page should be 100% consistent with the overall message of your email campaign and offer further motivation for that reader to pursue your special offer that is the subject of your campaign. It should include a form that the reader completes to obtain the offer, capturing their name and their email address. Simple is the key to an effective landing page. And landing pages also give you the opportunity to find out a lot more about your prospect. Visitors on your landing page will be registered on your server and accessible by your analytics so that you can gain some valuable information about them. You can also place a cookie on their computer for future visits, or also place remarketing code depending on what you're offering. And once you've captured your prospect's information and they've clicked to download whatever you're offering, the fulfillment should be immediate. Fulfillment is the first step in evolving a relationship and should be the most critical part of the process. This is the time to impress the individual receiving the download with your professionalism and your unique value proposition. And after the fulfillment has occurred, it's time to start your follow process, and the first email should be to gain their permission to continue to send them communications in your digital marketing efforts. So let's go over some key points to remember. Your email list is possibly your business's most valuable asset. Answer the question, what's in it for me? Always use a branded email address as the from email address. And focus on a single result from your email campaign. Well, that's it for today's, and I hope you've enjoyed this information. Now we're going to open up the webinar to your questions. Tom Ogg is our expert guest. He's here with us to answer your questions today. Remember, just keyboard your question in the questions area on the panel you see on your screen, and we'll get to as many as we can. Tom, welcome. We've got some questions if you want to get started.
Sounds good to me. I'm sitting here in Punta looking at the surf.
Okay, so I know we're supposed to feel really bad for you. I'm here in California in the pouring rain, so let's not go there, honey. Yeah. So
I can't go outside because I'm a little sunburned from yesterday.
Oh, okay, enough. All right, nobody's laughing. I know everybody's muted, but I know nobody's laughing.
I know.
Okay, so let's get to a couple questions. We don't have too many because I think this was pretty concise, and but let's get to some of these. Let's see. Okay. Someone just wanted to say hi. Hi. So nice to see you. Hi. Okay, let's see what this one is. I'm having trouble opening up my questions, so bear with me. I'm not sure why. I'm going to give a couple of these first. What exactly is a one-column responsive email template?
Responsive deals with the ability for a web template, email template, whatever, to be seen in all aspects, like on a smartphone, on a tablet, on a notebook, and on a desktop. So the responsive format allows it to be refigured to fit on whatever screen is looking at it.
Okay.
And generally, when you buy an email template, it may have 2 or 3 columns. Well, those columns are probably not responsive, and even if they are, it's going to display just a mess on a smartphone. So a one-column template for smartphones is the only way to go.
Okay, cool. I've got a question here. Someone's asking, why are you saying no pastels and no red?
About 8% of men have color vision issues.
I know that. I'm married to you.
Yeah, I know. I know. But I'm just saying that you can't see them. I think the most famous one that was made is the Pantone or whatever the company is, named the color this year as color of the year. and it's an orange, and they suggest that you use white, nobody can read it. If you have any vision problems at all, you can't read whatever is there. So high contrast, everybody can see. Why use any element that's going to detract from anybody's ability to read what your message is?
All right. I have another question. Someone's asking, do you have any good samples of effective emails that are out there? I don't think we can share anything here, like on this webinar. I don't know if you want to answer that, Tom.
We have, I think as most of everybody knows, we send out literally hundreds of thousands of emails, millions of emails a month on behalf of suppliers to travel agents. And some of them are very difficult. I mean, even when we get them, we go, man, this isn't going to work. But we have gotten permission from a couple suppliers to pass along your emails. And I don't know how to make those available. I can go in the community and maybe post them there. But generally, the effective email has got a value proposition like, here's an ebook on a particular subject you might be interested in, and maybe they're trying to, who knows what they're trying to sell, but you hit a landing page, they gather some information, and they immediately fulfill with an ebook. That's the way to go. That is just the way to go. There's a gal that does video advertising on YouTube that is using that format, and all she's selling is river cruises, and it's pretty successful.
Okay. Do you have a landing page site that you recommend?
You mean to build a landing page?
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that's what she means, yeah.
Yeah, your landing page strategy, it's like we're going to do a complete webinar on landing pages, how to do them and how to get them to work for you. But your landing page needs to be in one of two places. Number one, it needs to be on an interior domain name on your website, so you can control what you're recording and what you're doing to them. But better yet, you should have a specific URL based on the value. Like, let's say you're giving away, $99 discounts on river cruises for the next 3 days. $99 of river cruises, or $99 rivercruisediscount.com would be the place to have your landing page. And so that, the way it's housed. Designing a landing page is really simple. Anybody can do it with just a basic HTML editor. So they're not at all difficult to do, and the components are there. We will do a webinar that lays out every last detail you ever wanted to know about landing pages.
Okay. Where do you buy an email template?
You can just Google email templates, and there's hundreds of people that design and will build them for you. Fiverr.com has got hundreds of technicians that will build email templates for you for very little money. I mean, it's good. The key to the template is, it's just got to shout your value proposition, and that's the beauty about having a professionally built email template.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the branding side of it is so important in your template, because if you're going to be sending out more than one to the same people, it needs to have that consistency. So I got another question here, and this is, how often should you contact your email address clients to let them know about offers or maybe a newsletter? How much is too much? That's a really good question.
Well, the key to that is the quality of the communication you're sending them. If you have a list of people that are interested in going on a river cruise on the Danube, blah 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 blah, if you really tailor your messages to those people and convey high quality information, it probably isn't too many emails you can send. But if you just send an email to like I don't, I don't want to go hiking in the Alps. That's just not me. But if you send me an email about that, I'm just going to go, I don't care. And all of a sudden, you kind of get back down a bit. So the critical thing is the value of the content you're sending and the list that you're sending it to.
Okay. Good answer. I'm going to answer this next one, which is from about the different weights of fonts, just to clarify kind of what that meant. What that really meant when we were sharing that information was that let's say you're using a font Arial or using the font Tahoma, whatever the family of the font is. When you're choosing that font and you have options, normally there are options as to doing a light Arial or a bold Arial or a different a condensed Arial. So stick with the same font family. Basically, don't use an Arial and then use a Calibri or something else, because that's going to make it look kind of odd on the spacing and everything else. And I think that's what Tom and I meant by that particular piece of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In
So I
fact,
think, yeah, go ahead,
in
hon.
a lot of designs that you see now, what's really popular is using a font family with several weights and using a black font for titles and then going with a thinner than regular, like a thin or a light font for the text.
Okay.
And then highlighting key points, key value propositions in a bold. I mean, that makes it real easy for people to scan. And I mean, just think about the way everybody reads email, and you'll kind of see the challenge you're facing. It's like, when was the last time you actually read an entire email? I mean, it's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, it's challenging with smartphones. You're only looking at a piece of it unless you continue to scroll down. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for our questions. I wanted to mention to everybody, you can see up here our sites, and feel free to, view those there and all the information we have there. We really do appreciate your being with us today, and we hope you have a great rest of the afternoon. We're looking forward to seeing you for our next event in the Email Best Practice series. So the way we're going to be notifying folks about these is these are for the community. And so we will be sending, as we did for this, a broadcast message, a couple broadcast messages regarding when those will take place. And then we'll also be posting it in the community for you to see there as well. So we're going to fit those in as we can. I appreciate everyone being here. Tom, thanks for taking a time out of your surfing day to join us. We appreciate that.
I'd like to also share this concept of doing like mini webinars on specific topics was kind of spawned from the chats that we have done, the Tuesday afternoon chats. And few people want to invest a full hour in a chat, and those want fun to do, they can get a little chaotic. So I'd love to hear if this concept works for you guys, or how to improve it, or how to change it, how to make it better. Our intent is just to bring some high quality information that you can use without having to sell you anything. So that's what this is all about. I'd love to hear from you about what you think about it.
All right, everybody.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. We are recording this as well, so it will be available for you to view on the YouTube channel on top of everything else. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.